Welcome back to Ian and Jill's 2-Up Motorcycle Adventures. Our time at Thessaloniki was coming to an end and we had to say goodbye to Stuart and Liz. They flew back to Gatwick and we continued our journey to Alexandroupoli. As we headed east once again, the sun shone and the temperature continued to rise. Not long after we left Thessaloniki, we noticed a tortoise crossing the road slowly. By the time we reached it, it had made it safely to the side of the road. Sadly, some others didn't make it. The next one we saw was in a very precarious position. Before we had time to dismount, another local motorcyclist came to its rescue, carried it safely to the side of the road. No doubt this was a common occurrence in this area. The rest of our journey that morning took us alongside some fabulous coastline, past some historic landmarks and through a very nice national park. The high temperatures were taking their toll, so we stopped along the way for a cooling ice cream and to rehydrate. When we reached Alexandroupoli, we checked in to our apartment before heading down to the seafront. This is, by a good margin, the best guest house or apartment that we've stayed in so far. It's finished to a really high standard. Everything is pristine, and we can't think of anything that they haven't provided. There's 2 balconies, one out of the bedroom and then one out of the living area, with some very nice furniture for sitting in the evening. They even provide a mosquito net so you can have the door open and still be protected from any insects. Being a techie, I appreciated the Bluetooth door lock, although we had an old-fashioned physical key as a backup. And there was even an automated soap dispenser. How cool is that? The next morning we left about 9:30. The sun was splitting the skies and the temperature was already in the low 30s. It wasn't too long till we reached the Turkish border. The first priority was to buy insurance for Turkey. So while I waited in line, Jill went off to purchase that. There were actually 3 separate barriers to negotiate when crossing the border into Turkey. Although we asked Google to avoid tolls, it did sometimes get it wrong. In Turkey, there was no way to pay at the barriers. We stopped at one of them and asked for some advice, and they told us just to continue. Apparently you're not allowed to leave the country with unpaid tolls, We have checked the website and it looks like we've none to pay, but we'll see. This guy seemed to have more confidence in his fellow motorists than I would have. As we got closer to the centre of Istanbul, the traffic certainly got more challenging. The police motorcyclists were quite unpredictable too. What can I say? This particular scooter rider stood out among the others, filtering at speed with no helmet while engaged in a conversation on his mobile phone. Really? As we got close to our accommodation, our path was almost blocked by a police car who kindly moved aside. There was no way we were getting through there, so Jill jumped off to try and find a better route. At that point, our host turned up and directed us through what appeared to me to be a pedestrian area, if not actually a restaurant area, in order to get to our destination. The apartment was actually suitable for 4 guests, but since there were only 2 of us, we didn't need the fold-down beds. There was no lift, but the hike up 5 floors with all our luggage was worth it to get access to the rooftop.
Jill? After purchasing some delicious Turkish delight, we visited the Grand Bazaar and then toured around some landmarks, including the famous Blue Mosque. Perhaps we could get some of these bins in Belfast. There were a really good selection of restaurants quite close to the apartment. We enjoyed a platter of mixed kebabs and then retired for a well-earned rest, rising early the next morning to watch the sunrise.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to follow the rest of our trip, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video.